Hello and welcome to LEGO Accuracy, where I see how accurate LEGO sets are to the movies that they are based on. This time, I'm seeing how accurate the LEGO sets based off of the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie from 2014 are to the movie. At the moment, there are currently 3 main sets, a polybag and 2 Comic-Con exclusives, and 11 total minifigures based off of Guardians of the Galaxy. Now let's look at the first set. First, we have the Rocket Raccoon polybag, which includes a Rocket Raccoon minifigure and some side builds. First, for the Rocket Raccoon minifigure, it's pretty accurate. This version is based off of his red outfit for the end of the movie, and it looks good. The printing on the torso looks good with the emblem on the front of the chest, which is accurate, and there is even printing on the arms, which we don't get often, so that's nice. For the legs, they even have the gray for the feet, which is accurate because he isn't wearing shoes in the movie, so that works. The only problem I have is that the minifigure is gray, and in the movie he is more brown than gray. But other than that, this figure is pretty good. I give it an accuracy score of 9 out of 10. Now for the builds of this polybag, there's just a gun for Rocket and a build for a pot and twig to represent little baby Groot in the pot from the end of the movie. The gun could represent any gun from the movie that he uses, so that's fine, and the pot and twig build does a decent job to represent baby Groot in the pot. I give the builds an accuracy score of 9 out of 10. So overall, I give this polybag an accuracy score of 9 out of 10. Next is the Collector, which was a Comic-Con exclusive minifigure, and that is all it includes. The Collector minifigure is really good and pretty accurate. I think all of the printing on the head, torso, and legs are accurate. The cape and hairpiece are not the best though. They are decent enough, but not perfectly accurate. So overall, I give this figure an accuracy score of 9 out of 10. Next is Rocket Raccoon's Warbird, which was a Comic-Con exclusive set. The minifigure is the same figure that was in the polybag, which is that Rocket Raccoon in his red outfit, which I gave a 9 out of 10. Now the build for this set is the Warbird, which is actually in the movie, and it's the ship that Rocket used in the battle at the end of the movie. The build for the Warbird though is not to scale, which means it isn't that accurate. It has the right shape but not all of the color. It has the orange, which is on the actual ship, but the ship in the movie has more blue, which this set doesn't really have. I give the build an accuracy score of 4 out of 10. So overall, I give this set an accuracy score of 6.5 out of 10. The next set is Starblaster Showdown. The first minifigure in this set is Star-Lord, and this version seems to resemble his outfit from near the beginning of the movie with his longer jacket. From what I can tell, all the printing on the torso and legs looks really good and accurate. The helmet piece is great and perfect. The face isn't 100% perfect, but it isn't bad, so I give this minifigure an accuracy score of 10 out of 10. The second minifigure is the Nova Corps Officer. The printing on the torso is really good, there's no printing on the legs, but it isn't that needed, and the helmet looks kind of weird, but it's pretty accurate. I give this minifigure an accuracy score of 9 out of 10. The third minifigure in this set is the Sikaran. I think the torso print is decent, but both head prints aren't perfect in accuracy. There is no leg print, which is expected, and the hood piece does not represent the headgear in the movie that well, so I give this minifigure an accuracy score of 7 out of 10. The first build in this set is the Starblaster, which is the Nova Corps' ship. The general shape and the colors look pretty accurate. The cockpit area though doesn't look perfect, but it works well enough. I give this build an accuracy score of 8.5 out of 10. The other build in this set is the Necrocraft. The colors are right and the wings have the right shape, but the overall design doesn't look that close to the ship in the movie. It looks a little too small and the cockpit area doesn't look right at all. I give this build an accuracy score of 4 out of 10. So overall, I give this set an accuracy score of 7.5 out of 10. Next set is Knowhere Escape Mission. The first minifigure in this set is Rocket Raccoon in his orange outfit. The printing on the torso isn't perfect in accuracy, but it isn't bad, just some of the details and colors are not exactly right. And this version suffers the same problem as the other Rocket Raccoon minifigure, where he is gray in the set but in the movie he is more brown. I give this minifigure an accuracy score of 8 out of 10. The second minifigure is Nebula, and the printing on the torso is accurate, but no printing on the arms or legs, which is usual. The only problem with the head is that on the minifigure it is darker blue on the outside and lighter blue on the inside, but in the movie it's darker on the inside and lighter on the outside. I give this minifigure an accuracy score of 8.5 out of 10. The third minifigure is the Sikaran, which I already talked about in the Starblaster Showdown set, and I gave it a score of 7 out of 10. Next we have Groot, which isn't exactly a minifigure but more of a bigger build character. I think that this figure looks good. The piece that is used for the head and body works really well and makes it pretty accurate. The rest of the build is good to represent him in the movie, but the color isn't perfect. In the movie he is more tan in color, and in the set he is more brown. I give this figure an accuracy score of 9 out of 10. The first build in this set is some sort of area with a turret, and I'm not exactly sure what this is supposed to be based off of. I don't think it is supposed to be based off of anything specific, just some location on Knowhere. And for that reason I'm going to give this build an accuracy score of 3 out of 10, just because they did go to Knowhere in the movie and this could be something in that location. The other build in this set is a mining pod, which Rocket and Star-Lord use in the movie. This build looks pretty accurate. It isn't perfect, but I think it is built the best it could be. I give this build an accuracy score of 8 out of 10. So overall I give this set an accuracy score of 7 out of 10. The last set is the Milano Spaceship Rescue. The first minifigure in this set is Star-Lord, and this version seems to be based off of his outfit from the end of the movie. The print on the torso and legs is good, but I don't think the emblem on his chest is in that spot in the movie. The helmet is great and the face is decent, just like the first Star-Lord minifigure. I give this minifigure an accuracy score of 9.5 out of 10. The second minifigure in this set is Gamora. The printing on the torso and legs look good, but again it has the same problem with the emblem, and it uses the same legs as Star-Lord, but the legs work anyway, so that isn't really a problem. And the head print is really good, and the hair with the pink in it is really accurate also. I give this minifigure an accuracy score of 9.5 out of 10. The third minifigure is Drax, and this is really good. The printing on the torso, arms, and head is great and uses Lego skulls, which really makes sense, and again uses the same legs, but it works. I give this minifigure an accuracy score of 10 out of 10. The fourth minifigure is Ronan the Accuser. The printing for the head, torso, and legs are all accurate, and it used a new headpiece, which is really accurate. The only problem I see is that he does have a cape thing in the movie, but it isn't that big. I give this minifigure an accuracy score of 9.5 out of 10. The last minifigure is another Sakaran minifigure, which is the same as the last two sets, so I already talked about this figure and I gave it an accuracy score of 7 out of 10. The first build is the Milano. I think the design and overall shape is really good and accurate. The only problems are that the yellow parts in this set are actually more orange in the movie, and in the set it doesn't have Milano written on the ship like it does in the movie. I give this build an accuracy score of 9 out of 10. The second build in this set is another Necrocraft build. This version of the build is really not that much different, but I do think it might be a little better than the first Necrocraft build. So I give this build an accuracy score of 4.5 out of 10. So overall I give this set an accuracy score of 8.5 out of 10. So the most accurate minifigure overall is tied between the first Star-Lord minifigure and Drax, with both a 10 out of 10, but I'll give it to Star-Lord. The most accurate build overall is the Milano with a score of 9 out of 10. And the most accurate set overall is technically the Rocket Raccoon polybag with a score of 9 out of 10, but it's just a polybag, so it didn't have much to not be accurate. But the Milano Spaceship Rescue was also pretty accurate with an 8.5 out of 10. So overall this whole wave of sets gets an accuracy score of 8 out of 10. Anyway, that's all I have to say, so see you next time, goodbye.